in Wales costs €59.50. Using the exchange rate, €1 is equal to 8.85 a pound. Find the cost of the concert ticket in euros. So we have €1 is equal to 0.85 or 85 pence, 80.85 a pound. We need our answer in euros, so I'm going to just switch these around and put euros on the right hand side. So it's 0.85 pounds is equal to €1. Now we want 59.5 pounds, so what I'm going to do is again go to £1 and then go up to 59.5 pounds. Well, on the left hand side what we do is we go from 0.85 to 1. How do you do that? You divide by 0.85. 0.85 divided by 0.85 is 1. Next thing you do is you go from 1 up to 59.5. How do you change 1 to 59.5? You multiply by 59.5. 1 multiplied by 59.5 is 59.5. So you do exactly the same on the right hand side. So we're going to divide by 0.85 and we're going to multiply by 59.50. So it's 1 divided by 0.85, and then you've got to take 1 divided by 0.85 and you've got to multiply, that is 0.85 there. So 0.85 you've got to multiply by 59.5. So when you do that you should get €70. And that's it for part 1. Let's have a look at part 2. Liam is a member of the venue's loyalty club, so he gets a discount of 20% on all tickets. He buys 8 tickets for the concert. Work out the total cost of the 8 tickets in euros. So first of all, the tickets are going to cost €70 each. You've got to multiply that by 8. That's €560. And then he gets a 20% discount, so you've got to take €560 and you've got to reduce that by 20%. In other words, multiply by 0.8. When you do that, you get €448. That's it for part 2. Okay, so part B then. Liam flies to the concert. He finds the following information. The airplane emits 28,000 grams of carbon per kilometre during the flight. His total flight distance is 394 kilometres. There are 244 passengers on the flight. Work out the amount of carbon emitted during the flight per passenger. Give your answer in kilograms, correct 1 decimal place. So we have grams and kilograms, so we just got to be a little bit careful there. So if we take the 28,000 grams and multiply that by 394, that'll give us the amount of grams of carbon used during this particular flight. So that is 11032,000, and that's grams. So let's just convert that to kilograms. So there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so it's 11032 kilograms. And you've got to work out the, let's see, the amount of carbon emitted during the flight per passenger. So there are 244 passengers, so we're going to divide by 244, and that'll give us 45.2 kilograms. And that's it for part B. Let's look at part C. The number of people who will attend a concert, the attendance can change depending on the price of the ticket. For a particular concert, this can be modeled by the function a of x. So we have a of x is equal to 17,600 minus 160x, where a of x is the attendance at the concert and x is the price of the ticket in euro. X is between 0 and 110 euros. X is real. Use the function a of x to answer part C1 and C2. Find the attendance at this concert if the price is 20 euros. So all you've got to do is do a of 20. So that's 17,600 minus 160 times 20. So again, that's just some calculator work. You'll get 14,400. Okay, so that's it for part 1. Part 2, find the price of a ticket if the attendance would be 12,800. Again, we have the attendance, a of x, is equal to 17,600 minus 160x. We're given the attendance now, so we're told the left hand side is 12,800. We've got 17,600 minus 160x. All we've got to do is find the price, find out what x is. So what we've got to do is take 12,800 and subtract 17,600. That'll give us minus 4,800 is equal to minus 160x. Next thing you do is you divide by minus 160. Remember that minus 160 is multiplied by that x. So you've got to divide by minus 160 and that'll give you 30 euros. So for an attendance of 12,800 they would need to charge 30 euros per ticket. Okay, let's have a look at D. For a different concert, the total ticket sales in euros can be modelled by 15,000x minus 150x squared. Again, x is the price of a ticket in euro. For this concert, the total ticket sales are 360,000 euros. Use this information to show that x squared minus 100x plus 2,400 is equal to 0. So we know that 15,000x minus 150x squared. So we know that this is the total ticket sales in euros for a different concert. We're told in this particular case for this concert the total ticket sales are 360,000 euros. So that's our equation. We've got to mess around with that until we get this thing here. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm assuming that all of these terms will divide by 150, and I can see I think that they will. Yeah. So if you take 150,000, divide by 150, you'll get 100x. If you take 150, divide by 150, you'll get 1, so that's just x squared. If you take 360,000 and divide it by 150, you'll get 2,400. So that kind of simplifies it, and it gives us the numbers that we need in our question. So all you've got to do is bring everything over to one side. Let's just take the left hand side. So I've just brought the 2,400 over to the left hand side. Now I'm almost there. What I've got is the answer, but with the signs wrong, if you like. So what I've got to do is multiply every term by minus 1. So if I multiply the first one by minus 1, I'll get x squared. Multiply the second one by minus 1, I'll get minus 100x. Multiply the minus 2,400 by minus 1, I'll get plus 2,400. Multiply the 0 by minus 100, I get 0. That is it. That's the end of that part of the question. Okay, let's have a look at the next one then. It says solve the equation to find two possible ticket prices for this concert. So we have x squared minus 100x plus 2,400 is equal to 0. So we've got to solve this. Now a couple of ways of doing this. There are quite a few ways of doing it actually, but we can factorize or we can use the minus b or the quadratic formula. It's up to yourself what way you want to do it. This will in fact factorize, so I'm just going to do it that way. You'll find that x times x will give you x squared, and you'll find 60 times 40 will give you 2,400. We need plus 2,400, so the signs have to be the same. Because the first one is a minus, it's going to be minus minus. So this just means that x minus 60 is equal to 0, or x minus 40 is equal to 0. So finally just add 60 to both sides, x is equal to 60, or add 40 to both sides, x is equal to 40, and these are in euros. Okay, and that's it for this question. Okay, so let's have a look at the